and forth, pro or con, I don't care. We'll go 2 minutes on the time as well. So floor is up to whoever's first.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I will be brief. The only section that the Iowa Tourism Industry Partners is weighing in on is Division 8. Division 8 is the school start date bill, or provision in the bill. We are opposed to that piece of legislation. For example, we spend about, or the state generates about $20 million a day on tourism activities, and so any movement on the school start date would affect that. We believe that there is local control after August 23rd. Many states set the time for Labor Day for the school start date. We believe that this is an opportunity for people to spend time with their family, opportunities for kids to continue their summer work. This is not just for Des Moines and the Iowa State Fair, but Okoboji, Northeast Iowa, Cedar Rapids, all areas of the state where people can enjoy what Iowa has to offer. So I've got a couple documents. We would ask that you remove that piece of that piece of the bill and move forward from there. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Emily.
Emily Piper, representing the Iowa Association of School Boards. Like David, there's only one part of the bill that I care about that I like, and that would be the one that he doesn't like. So I would urge you to keep that in. As far as the rest of the bill, I think that one of the things that we have consistently heard since the creation of charter schools that could be done outside of a school district, as well as ESAs opening up opportunities for school choice, is that we should be able to compete. But competition isn't happening in this bill. We're taking away a lot of the oversight and accountability and standards that both the non-publics and the charter schools would have to follow while we'll be maintaining the same thing. So they'll be getting the same amount of money, but get to do it their own way, whereas we're going to get more regulations put on us each year. At least that seems to be the way we're going. As far as the preschool program, we have no problem with community partners doing a direct pathway to provide preschool. We think that's a good opportunity to open up more slots. We do have a problem with the fact that they would not have to adhere to the same standards that we would have to adhere to, and that they would get the same amount of money. And then the other real problem in that provision that is worrisome is it takes away the right for the school district to determine who they want to work with and how they want to work with those folks, including not allowing them to limit the number of students that they might be able to accommodate. I know that there are isolated instances around the state, but by and large, districts and community partners work well together. I think it's a bit presumptuous to say all of us are doing something bad. Let's not force us to partner with somebody who wants to. Let's let that be a relationship that develops as it has now. The last thing I want to talk about is the TSS dollars following the student. We've had this debate, I don't know, 3 years in a row maybe. And the concern we have with that is the TSS dollars are already baked into the contract and into the teacher's salary. And if a child decides to leave and they take that money with them, we still have to pay that teacher. I think there are some alternative ways that we can come up with a mechanism for the charter schools to count their teachers and get TSS money directly rather than through our open enrollment that would benefit them and would protect the public school districts. So I would encourage us to look at some other way to accomplish that goal. Thanks.
Thank you. Eric.
Thank you. Eric Goranson, representing the Iowa Association of Christian Schools. We are supportive of every division in the bill, and just to touch on a couple. One, Emily's completely correct. Most of our school districts are working very well with their community partners on preschool. The problem is that there's a small but growing number of school districts that are not working well with community partners. And it's not just our schools, it's other types of preschools as well. And so we need to find some way to both protect religious liberty and faith-based preschools, but also figure out a way to make sure that quality community providers, which we were assured in 2007 and 8 would be included, and have been for the most part since, can be included in the program, are included in the program, and don't have artificial caps when that's where parents decide that they want to send their kids. So I really appreciate you addressing that in the bill. The other thing is on school start date, we appreciate that being in the bill. We don't feel like starting school on a Monday or Tuesday is going to going to harm anyone, but it will help students and teachers to start their school year stronger. So we appreciate that, and we're not asking for that to move up weeks. We're looking at a couple days. So appreciate that. And also the accreditation language in the bill. Heard a lot about accountability. That's what we're trying to protect in this bill, is the high level of accountability we have. And independent accrediting bodies keep us accountable to continuous improvement. We have to have financial reviews or audits every year based on our size. We have very, very rigorous standards, and unlike other types of accreditation, we actually have site visits still. So we would like to keep that accountability there and just have a clear delineation of their autonomy and their ability to do that, so there's not confusion in where that accountability comes from. Thanks.
Thank you.
Jake Ketzner with Adventureland Amusement Park. We concur with David's comments regarding the school start date. That issue has been brought up in a separate bill this year, so we're asking for that to be removed, and appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Representatives, this is Megan Schleski with IPERS. We're registered undecided on the bill. Division 2 adds entities that are established under 256E as covered employers for IPERS. We currently have charter schools that are participating in IPERS, and the process is they fill out an application and then we do a legal review to ensure that they meet the IRS requirements. Currently, 256E does not have all of the statutory requirements that the IRS requires for them to be a participant. So I have emailed language to everybody just asking that the bill be amended to read something to the effect of charter school established pursuant to 256E, which satisfy the federal law requirements for participation in the retirement system, just to make sure that we don't get into a situation where we have a school where Iowa code is saying that they are covered, but the IRS is saying that they're not. I have paper copies for everybody, but if you have any other questions, please let me know.
Yeah, thank you. We did receive that, and we're talking about it. Thank you. Yep.
Hello, Sandy Conlon on behalf of the American Federation for Children. We're registered in favor of the bill. We are very supportive of the language that Eric spoke about in terms of autonomy for private school accreditors. We think that just matches the current practice right now. We are also supportive of having a separate application period in case parents do have problems with their public school in the first semester. They should have the opportunity to apply for the ESE at a second time in the year so that they can switch to a private school for the second semester if they choose to do so. Also supportive of all the provisions in the bill, but also I'll call out the revolving funds for helping to expand and build future schools. So thank you.
Thank you.
Tom Chapman with the Iowa Catholic Conference. We're registered in support of all parts of the bill. We represent the Catholic schools. A couple of the highlights, Division 5, in particular, the revolving fund for charter and non-public school infrastructure. I think particularly that would help some of the smaller schools get cheaper money. We're very supportive of that. There is a kind of a convoluted description of accredited non-public schools in several parts of the bill. We think that you can just say accredited non-public school, because all the accredited non-public schools accept students with ESAs these days. So I think that would be a good change. Division 6 preschool helps fulfill the original purpose of the statewide voluntary program. We do like more access to that. We also like the fact that the bill does not require any changes where the partnership is going well. We support Division 7 of the bill, which would allow a second sign-up period for the second semester for the Education Savings Account program. I think there's been some discussion with our technology partners about moving that date back a little bit, a month or so or 6 weeks, and we would be fine with that if you want to make that change in the bill. We do support the start date change, helping avoid a late week start to school. Appreciate that. Although I have to say, from the Catholic school perspective, we don't really think the state should be regulating when we start school at all. Division 10 is a great change considering the number of trainings that are currently being required for school teachers. We hear a lot about that from our teachers, and we would like to see an effective way to look at what makes sense for teacher trainings Thank you.
Thank you. Others? Margaret?
Margaret Buckton with the Urban Education Network, Rural School Advocates of Iowa, both are registered opposed. I'll build on what Emily was talking about on TSS. It was based on the number of teachers that were below the minimums and then backed into a per student count. So this is about the students in the public schools who still need to have that history teacher and that music teacher and that art teacher. And if we don't have enough revenue to pay those mandated salaries, we'll have to cut staff. For extracurriculars, it should be modeled on the open enrollment statute because there are costs associated with uniforms and coaches and transportation. That's $250 following the student to the public school to get the extracurricular. For preschool, it's okay if we have the independent partners coming up with their own application for a program, but please hold them to the same standards. You need certified teachers, and you need to make sure it's at least 10 hours of instruction so that those students are exposed to the same kinds of standards that make a difference for literacy. For the education savings account at semester, we should also have a corollary to that. If any students drop out of the private school and come back to the public school after October 1st, we should then count them for the second semester so there's funding to accompany them. Okay, about the start date. The low-income families in Iowa, and there are many more of them than there used to be, can't afford to even get a hot dog at the fair or go to Okoboji. Those students are the ones who suffer the most from the summer slide. They lose compared to their more affluent peers. And the shorter we have a summer, the more their literacy is going to develop. According to census data, 72% of Iowan households do not have children in them. And in the Senate subcommittee on this bill, there was testimony that we have families coming from Minnesota and Illinois to our tourism after school starts in Iowa. So part of that 20 million is obviously being collected and donated to the state. Another really important thing is the college credit. We're #1 in the country in college credits earned per capita, which I think is great. Part of the struggle with that to expand to more students is that we have to align calendars to when the community college calendars are. And then when we have those calendars aligned, our staff can also have access to quality programs, to get more training, to get their master's degree so they can teach some of those concurrent enrollment courses. Thank you.
Dustin.
Dustin Rush with Americans for Prosperity. I don't want to echo too much of what has been said already. We support this bill, this legislation, because it reinforces the commitment to education and freedom here in Iowa. We appreciate that it supports charter schools by ensuring that dollars follow the students, protects non-public schools and their autonomy, and ensures students have access to extracurricular activities. So really appreciate you bringing this forward and look forward to passing it. Thanks.
Good afternoon, Chris Byam. I'm the Executive Director of Great Oaks High School and Career Center, a charter school for opportunity youth here in Des Moines. I want to share a quick story about a Great Oaks student named Chase. Chase struggled in a traditional high school, felt disengaged, unsure that he was even going to graduate. When he found a smaller, career-focused environment designed for students like him, everything changed. He re-engaged and he found his purpose. In our manufacturing program, he's helping build prosthetic legs and hands to be sent overseas for people that have the need. He's gaining real skills while making a difference. Today, he's on track to graduate. He's earning an industry-recognized credential and has secured a $20 an hour internship. His potential didn't change, but the environment did. Nationally, one student drops out every 26 seconds, more than two every minute. Each dropout costs the community an estimated $308,000 over a lifetime. This bill helps ensure students like Chase have access to the right environment before they become a statistic. When funding follows the student, we keep young people engaged, strengthen our workforce, and invest in Iowa's futures. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike.
Mike Hughley for the Iowa Coalition for Public Charter Schools. To piggyback off what Chris said, for every student like Chase that leaves open enrolls to a public charter school here in the city of Des Moines, just as one real life example, about $4,000 stay with Des Moines Public Schools, even though the student like Chase is at Great Oaks. You talk about $765 for TSS, 1372 for SAVE, local property taxes. It just starts stacking. And that's all money that does not follow the student. So we're just saying this student is re-enrolled in a public school. We should fund that student, right? So if, just to give you the simple math, if TSS is passed in this bill, for the 570 students that left a DMPS school and are now in a public charter school in the city of Des Moines, the DMPS will still receive over $1.8 million for the kids they do not educate. That money is going to them and not to the public charter school. So it is a significant amount of money. We think it should follow the student. The other division of this bill I'd love to promote, Division 5. There's 16 states that have a revolving loan fund for public charter schools. We would love to see that policy come to Iowa. It's been very successful in getting schools off the ground. It's an economic driver for construction. We love that it would help support non-public schools as well, as we support school choice around the state of Iowa. So we hope you see the benefits of students to this bill. Thanks.
Thank you.
I was hitting the wrong button. It's my first day.
First subcommittee?
Yeah, it is. Thank you for the welcome. Andy Conlon here on behalf of several clients. One, yes, every kid. I'll just echo the comments from my colleague from AFP. I also represent Odyssey, who is the ESA program administrator. We are registered undecided, but have passed on an amendment to request that the second enrollment date be a little bit earlier in the year. Frankly, that's a mechanical function for us, and we think it would create some ease on the school side. So we'd love to see that maybe be pushed into a little earlier in the year. Thank you.
Thanks. Craig.
Craig Patterson here representing Okoboji Tourism, and we like Mr. Edelman, we're also opposed to the school start date provision. That's the only real provision we're really paying attention to. And I'm you know, this is a discussion that's been going on for several years. I know there's a lot of points to be made here, you know, regarding college schedules aligning, and you know, I would just say that before the current law passed, there was school districts in Iowa that were starting after Labor Day, which the tourism industry would prefer to see that, and they were sliding all the way up into the very end of July. So there was, I mean, as far as like aligning sports schedules and stuff, which is something that would come up in subcommittees a lot. There was about a 45-day window where schools were starting. So we like the law the way it is. I mean, we would rather see it be Labor Day, but you know, we're fine, you know, keeping it August 23rd. But I think within this bill, it's hard to actually get a focus on that. It'd be more our discussion point to have this outside of this bill in the separate legislation that Mr. Ketzner was talking about. So thank you.
Thank you.
Courtney Craig here on behalf of Iowa Advocates for Choice in Education. We're supportive of this bill for the reasons already outlined by our friends earlier, and appreciate all the work that's been done. Thanks.
Anybody else? All right, seeing none. Tracy. Representative Eller.
Thank you. I will not be signing off. I do like Division 10. I think we do need to look at the trainings, but right now the funding conversation that I want to have is the one that gets our public schools funds so that they can start planning for the next school year.
Thank you. That'll conclude the sub. Thank you, guys.